A woman named Jacqueline Faye Mathis shared a photo that her son took while hiking with his father through the woods near Baltimore, Maryland. The area is known for its old abandoned forts and historic ruins dating back to the American Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. While exploring one of the overgrown ruins, they stopped beside an old wooden cross and took a photo before continuing their hike. It wasn't until they looked at the picture later that they noticed something strange. A face-like shape appeared to be peeking out from behind the cross near the man's feet. According to the family, no one else was in the area when the photo was taken. And if that's true, then who or what was that? A hiker was walking through the mountains when his flashlight suddenly revealed a pair of glowing eyes hidden in the bushes. As he focused the camera, a mountain lion slowly came into view. Without the reflection from its eyes, the animal was almost impossible to see. Its coat blended perfectly with the surrounding vegetation, making it nearly invisible against the mountainside. Encounters like this are a reminder of just how easily these predators can remain hidden, and how close you can come to one without ever realizing it. A man was driving along a remote mountain road with his dashcam recording when something appeared along the side of the road. There stood a tall, pale, humanoid figure, completely motionless. As the car got closer, its long, dark hair and unusually thin proportions became much easier to make out. Strangely, the figure never reacted. It didn't step away. It didn't turn its head. It simply remained standing there as the vehicle passed by. Thankfully, the driver made the smart decision to keep driving. Some people believe it was simply a person standing in the darkness. Personally, I'm not so sure. The figure's appearance doesn't look entirely human to me, and the fact that it never reacted to the approaching vehicle only raises more questions. In 2006, a man entered a forest that had long been associated with reports of strange encounters. Years later, police released footage from the incident. The video showed the man walking through the woods before suddenly becoming alarmed by disturbing screams echoing through the trees.
Oh God. What?
As the sounds grew louder, he broke into a run, repeatedly looking behind him as if something was following close behind.
Okay, I'm not like this. I'm shaking. I can't.
The footage became increasingly chaotic until the camera suddenly fell to the ground. It kept recording for a few moments before the clip ended. No clear explanation was ever given for what the man heard or what caused him to flee so desperately. A family was enjoying an afternoon at a waterfall when one small detail caught the father's attention. Hidden among the rocks and fallen branches was a massive crocodile lying completely still. Its camouflage was so effective that it blended almost perfectly into the shoreline. Realizing how close they were to the predator, the father immediately told everyone to get out of the water. Honestly, I don't understand why you would swim in places where crocodiles live. A hiker was walking along a wooded mountain trail when he spotted what appeared to be a massive black figure standing among the trees. Instead of fleeing, he started recording. The figure looked almost completely jet black, with only two small eyes visible. The uploader believed it could have been a djinn. A few even claimed it resembled Bigfoot, but maybe it was just a person wearing a dark hoodie and perhaps a mask. Whatever it was, none of those explanations seemed like something you'd want to encounter during a hike. A paranormal investigator from the YouTube channel Dark Ghost Paranormal was exploring a remote forest in rural Russia when he came across an old cemetery hidden in the fog. The area was filled with handmade crosses, strange stick creatures, and eerie sounds echoing through the trees. While searching near one of the graves, he discovered a soaked cardboard box. But what it contained was even creepier. According to the investigator, its surface looked unsettlingly similar to human skin, although he admitted it could have been made from animal hide instead. Unwilling to keep examining it, he tossed the doll into a nearby swamp and quickly left the area. Whether it was part of an old ritual, an art project, or something else entirely remains unknown. But was it smart to touch and throw it in the water? I'm not so sure about that. During a hike through the mountains, this person came across a strange and unsettling sight. At first, it looked like a strange yellow-orange plant growing from the forest floor, but it wasn't a plant at all. It was a tarantula that had been infected by a parasitic fungus known as cordyceps. The fungus invades the spider's body, gradually takes control of it, and eventually forces it to climb to a location where its spores can spread effectively. Once the tarantula dies, the fungus begins to grow through its body, continuing its life cycle. It may look like something straight out of a horror movie, but this is a real phenomenon found in nature. Thankfully, the species of cordyceps that infect spiders are not known to infect humans. While walking through a mountain forest at night, this person noticed something truly terrifying. A pale figure with long dark hair and glowing red eyes stood silently between the trees. It didn't move, it didn't react, it simply stared back. Many people compared the figure to a kuntilanak, a female spirit from Indonesian, Malaysian, and Southeast Asian folklore, often described as the ghost of a woman dressed in white. Others argued it was simply a person in a costume. Since the footage is short and provides very little context, it's impossible to know what was really standing there. But if you looked into the darkness and saw something staring back at you like this, would you stay long enough to find out what it was? A YouTuber named Brad from the channel Exploring with Brad returned to Ontario's so-called Bigfoot forest for another overnight camping trip. As night fell, he began hearing strange sounds echoing through the woods. It sounded as though a woman was screaming somewhere in the distance.
I thought that I heard something out that way. I don't know. It's coming from that side again. Like it sounded like a person, like a woman or something. Hello? Is anyone out there? Oh, what the hell's going on?
Eventually, he tried to ignore the noises and went to sleep, but a short time later, he was suddenly startled awake.
Oh my god.
Shaken, Brad packed up his gear and began making his way out of the forest. Yet the strange sounds didn't stop. He heard footsteps, laughter, and movement in the darkness. But every time he stopped to look, there was no one there.
Is anyone out there? Yo, what the hell was that? Oh my goodness, that creeped me out. This place is pretty scary though, not gonna lie. Sorry I stopped. I thought I heard footsteps. But coming forward, like coming right at me from over here. Still not seeing anything on that side. Oh man. That was laughing. Coming from over here. It sounded like a girl laughing. Hello? Is anyone out there?
Was someone just messing with him? Or was something sinister going on in that forest that night? While staying in Nebraska, this person witnessed a terrifying scene. A hailstorm unlike anything they had ever seen before. Large, compact hailstones began crashing down with incredible force. The footage revealed impacts powerful enough to crack windows and cause significant damage. Some of the hailstones were enormous, making it extremely dangerous to remain outside. Storms like this can develop rapidly and become life-threatening within minutes. In September 2024, a man was hiking near Dry Lake in California's San Gorgonio wilderness when he heard strange sounds echoing from across the lake. At first, he assumed they were coyotes, but the longer he listened, the more unusual the calls became. He stopped to record the sounds, noting that they didn't resemble the coyote calls he was familiar with. Some people experienced with wildlife suggested they could have been coyotes mixed with another animal. Others believed echoes across the lake may have distorted the calls, making them sound far stranger than they really were. But maybe, just maybe, something else hidden in the surrounding forest was responding to the coyotes that day. If you're afraid of spiders or spider-like creatures, consider this your warning. A group of cave explorers ventured deep underground when they came across this. Hundreds of strange creatures covering the cave walls and floor. At first glance, they looked like giant spiders crawling in every direction. But they weren't spiders at all. The creatures were camel crickets, unusual insects known for their long legs, humpbacked bodies, and powerful jumps. Unlike spiders, they don't spin webs or use venom, but they can leap several feet when startled, making them especially unsettling to encounter up close. They thrive in dark, damp environments like caves, where enormous groups can gather unnoticed. Even knowing what they are, seeing hundreds of them in one place is enough to make most people turn around immediately. On May 4th, 2026, someone was hiking through a mountainous area when they recorded this strange figure. The creature didn't resemble the typical descriptions associated with Bigfoot. Instead of appearing broad and heavily built, it looked unusually tall and incredibly thin. Its body appeared hunched, with unusually long arms hanging well below its knees and oversized hands that stood out against its narrow frame. It remained visible for only a brief moment before disappearing from view. Whatever was captured remains a mystery. A security camera at a commercial parking lot in the Canadian mountains captured something strange. An orange car slowly drove through the lot. But if you look closely, a white translucent figure suddenly crossed in front of it. The driver never reacted, suggesting they may not have seen anything at all. The footage is difficult to explain because the figure appears to move naturally across the scene before disappearing completely. It doesn't look like a typical camera glitch. But what do you think? On June 5th, 2025, a hiker recorded a strange object over Sheuyuku Reservoir in Beijing. A small metallic sphere could be seen moving above the water, changing altitude and speed before briefly hovering in place. According to the witness, the object eventually disappeared behind a nearby hill. About 30 minutes later, it returned along the same stretch of sky. The witness also claimed the evening was completely calm, making a drifting balloon seem less likely. A drone remains one possible explanation, although nothing in the footage confirms that either. No one knows what it was. TikTok user Kota Kyle 1893 returned home to find this. A tree branch floating 20 to 30 feet above his yard. Unable to explain it, he recorded the strange sight and shared it online.
It's just floating there. As far as I zoom in on.
He searched for answers, asked a neighbor to take a look, and even threw objects at the branch, but nothing seemed to explain why it was suspended in midair.
My dog's weirded out.
The video quickly went viral. Then the mystery took an unexpected turn.
It might be time to put y'all's phones down and quit believing everything you see on the internet. Have a blessed one.
The creator revealed the entire thing had been staged using a hidden support and showed exactly how he pulled it off. Even after the explanation, many refused to believe him, insisting he had been pressured into hiding the truth. But I don't know about that. A video allegedly filmed near the Chernobyl exclusion zone showed a strange animal crawling awkwardly across the ground. The creature appeared to have patchy brown fur with large bald areas, and its head stayed lowered as it moved, making it difficult to identify exactly what it was. Because the footage was reportedly recorded near Chernobyl, viewers immediately wondered whether it could be an animal affected by decades of radiation. Others argued it looked more like a wolf or stray dog suffering from severe mange or another disease, but the location definitely makes it more interesting. A man was hiking through the woods when he noticed something unusual moving in the distance. He pulled out his phone and began recording. The footage showed an animal walking on all fours, but just behind it was another figure standing upright in a strange, hunched posture. What caught people's attention was the way the second figure appeared to move. Some viewers even claimed it seemed to change shape, though the blurry footage made it impossible to tell for certain. One detail stood out, however. The animal in front never seemed alarmed or aware that anything unusual was behind it. If the second figure had really been a predator, or something more mysterious, you might expect some kind of reaction. Instead, the animal continued walking as if nothing was there. Personally, I think the apparent figure was most likely just the shape of a tree, creating a convincing optical illusion. But what do you think? In China, there's a mountain cliff with a strange reputation. Every few decades, large egg-shaped stones are said to emerge from its surface before eventually falling to the ground. This unusual cliff, known as the Egg-laying Cliff, is located in Guizhou province, where locals have been witnessing the phenomenon for generations. Many believe it has been happening for hundreds of years. The smooth, rounded stones resemble enormous eggs, earning the cliff its unusual nickname. Some can weigh hundreds of pounds. Geologists believe the phenomenon is most likely caused by differential weathering. Over time, the softer rock surrounding the harder egg-shaped formations gradually erodes away, exposing them until they eventually break free and fall from the cliff. Even with a scientific explanation, watching these massive stone eggs slowly emerge from the mountainside over the course of decades is still an incredible sight. A woman was exercising in the mountains near the edge of a wooded area when she decided to record part of her workout. At the time, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but after returning home and reviewing the footage, she noticed something she'd completely missed. Near the tree line, a pair of glowing eyes appeared to be staring directly at her from the darkness. They didn't appear just once. They kept showing up throughout the recording, leaving many people wondering exactly what had been watching her from the woods. A 60-year-old law professor named Charles Hosh traveled from Texas to Georgia to visit family near the Appalachian Mountains. While there, he decided to go for a hike near Blood Mountain, a rugged and heavily wooded area in North Georgia known for its steep terrain and remote trails. According to family members, it was a trail Charles had known since childhood. What was supposed to be a familiar walk through the mountains soon turned into a mystery. After heading out on the hike, Charles never returned. Search and rescue crews spent days combing the area around Blood Mountain, but despite extensive searching, no clear signs of his location were ever found. As official searches slowed down, his family launched private search efforts, bringing in volunteers and canine teams to continue searching the mountains. His daughter later shared the family still hoped he may have found shelter somewhere hidden deep in the terrain, possibly trapped or injured in an area difficult to reach. The case left many people wondering how someone so familiar with the area could seemingly vanish without a trace. So what do you think happened to Charles Hosh? Could he still be somewhere in those mountains? If you know anything about Charles Hosh's disappearance or want to help support the ongoing search efforts, please visit bringcharleshome.com. A group of people were driving along a quiet mountain trail at night in India when something unusual appeared ahead of them. At first, it was just a shape in the distance, but as the car moved closer, the figure became clear. Standing on the side of the trail was a humanoid figure dressed entirely in white, resembling someone draped in a sheet. The group reacted immediately, clearly shaken by what they were seeing. Some believe it could have been a prank, but others say the fear in their voices is hard to fake. A family visited a cemetery to pay their respects to a loved one when they noticed something unusual above a nearby grave. From a distance, it looked like a dark humanoid figure standing silently with its head lowered. They took a photograph, then captured a second image moments later. This time, the figure appeared to be in a different position. Some even claimed it looked as though it had horns, making the second image seem far more unsettling than the first. So, was the strange shape nothing more than shadows and perspective, or did the camera capture something stranger in that cemetery? Now, let's watch some more mountain encounters together.